Playing solo Arc Raiders can be brutal, but it can get better if you just know how to play it. I have over 250 hours in the game, and these are the 10 tips that I would recommend to any solo. Tip number 1 is using a free kit more often. Arc Raiders is one of the few games that has balanced free kits that actually stand a somewhat good chance against kitted players. And you don't have to worry about losing any goop that you've gotten in past raids. Just go in and be worry-free, focus on learning, getting good at fighting, and you'll eventually begin to improve. Tip number 2, build kits with a goal in mind. If you're going to go into a raid and get into PvP, you should bring in a combat augment with a weapon that can take on other players, such as a Stitcher. If your goal is to kill Arc or to loot, bring in a looting augment and a Pharaoh or an Anvil, because Pharaohs and Anvils have higher Arc armor penetration. You need to bring in what you're going to use. But you have to keep in mind what you brought in. Don't go get in a fight if you don't have to, because you have only a Pharaoh. Tip number 3 is slow down. If you're looting and you're having to rifle through things and you're doing it all so fast, you might be missing things that are of more value than other objects. Also, sprinting is much louder than walking, and if you're in a position where other players might be around, you're giving yourself away by sprinting everywhere. Go, and when you notice other players, if you can hear them, they're always sprinting. If they're crouched or just walking, it's much quieter. Tip number 4 is to pay more attention to your environment. And I know that may seem counterintuitive because you would potentially be missing seeing another player, but if you look at things like shadows, other arc, you can tell where a player is. I've seen shadows of players above me and been able to turn around before they see me, all because of the shadow. And you would be surprised on maps like Bluegate how often a snitch would point out where a player is at. The next tip was probably the biggest mindset change for me as a solo, and it saved me way more gear and money than any loadout ever did. Tip number 5, shooting first is a choice. As a solo, every fight you take is a choice, and it's not an obligation. I've started fights I didn't need to, won them, and still died right after because somebody comes up behind. People are always ratting and third-partying, so you need to be smart enough to not always take that first shot. Sometimes it's unavoidable, but be smart and be looking around to see who else might be around you. You can also listen for people that are fighting and go up and third-party those people. At the end of the day, being a rat is frowned upon, but when you're a new player, getting that gear is very important. Tip number 6 is to always know your exit. Before you commit to anything, know how you're getting out. If you're looting a building and you don't know how to get out of the building, then you might get pinched in a fight and end up dying. You can also get pinched by Arc. You have to know the different variables that you can use to get out. Another thing goes back to tip number 3, where you should slow down while you're looting, that way you're not using all your stamina, because stamina is sparse, right? You might need your stamina to get out of a fight, so you have to be thinking about that ahead of time. Tip number 7 is be smart about using locked room keys. First, you have to know where you're going when you get in the map, otherwise you're not going to be able to use the key before someone else gets there, right? If you're not the first one there, the good loot will be taken. Second, I advise using the keys during a night raid or an electromagnetic storm because they often result in higher valuable loot than a day raid. Day raids often cut you short in terms. This next tip is where most of my solo raids actually went wrong. Tip number 8 is don't always be greedy. Some of my most memorable deaths are when I'm already heading to extract and I decide, oh, I can get into this last fight because I might be able to get more loot. But I've already got plenty of loot to extract. Then I die because I'm worried about the loot that I already have, and all of a sudden, now I'm out with nothing. So sometimes when you already have a big kit bag, just leave, extract, reset, and then go in for some more fights and some more loot. You have to be smart about extraction. Tip number 9, other raiders aren't always enemies. Now you have to be smart about this because some people say friendly, yet they're going to kill you anyways. They're little rats. But a lot of times you can kind of sense how friendly a player will be based off the way they're talking and the way they're acting. And if you find friendly players, then they can help you find loot spots, they can help you get extracted, they can do all sorts of things to benefit your gameplay. For example, the other day I got out of a locked room, had 3 purple guns, and I dropped a renegade to a guy. I said, hey dude, are you heading to extract? You can take this, come with me, we can extract together. He took it, we both got extracted with some good loot, and it's just building a friendship, right? So be friendly to those players if you're interested in teaming, and a lot of times they'll be friendly back. Just do be careful about those rats. And tip number 10, a little smaller than the rest, but some raids are simply just lost. It doesn't matter, sometimes you might spawn in late, you might have bad timing, you might have bad luck, but sometimes it's just not going to be your raid, and you have to be able to accept that. That means maybe just surrendering, maybe going in and taking some fights that you wouldn't normally take and turning the raid around from a lost raid to a potentially gooped up winning raid where you got one kill on a gooped guy and all of a sudden you're walking out with a lot. But if you're 15 minutes into the raid and you have nothing, it could be lost, and that's okay. Just reset or go balls to the wall and find some gooped up boy. And that's pretty much it. Those are the biggest things that I've learned that help me play Arc Raiders solos. If this helps you even a little bit, feel free to drop a like or a subscription. I'm planning to make more solo-focused content like this, and if you've got your own solo tips, drop them down in the comments. Everybody can learn from them. I'm always interested in reading that kind of stuff, guys. Thank you very much.